All right, we're back, and my attorney will explain more about it. What's going on if your car being repossessed? What's your rights, and also how you can protect yourself when you buy a vehicle and the vehicle did not arrive. So go ahead.
Right. So if your car has been taken and it has been taken wrongfully, then there are new laws that were just passed in this last legislature, which gives you a private right of action to be able to go after those, like I said, those entities, the dealership or the lender who has taken your car wrongfully. And the best thing to do is to go to an attorney like myself, Craig Friedberg, and let us know exactly what the situation is. You can call me at 702-HELP-YOU, which is 702-435-7968. You can email me at cbfriedberg, my name, that's cbfriedberg, at justice.com, and explain a little bit about what's going on. And so from there, then, I can look at your situation and let you know a little bit more. Now, another situation is, what happens if you buy a car and it isn't delivered? Well, delivery of the car is what's called a condition precedent to the contract. That contract hasn't really been formed unless you get what you paid for. And so you would be able to, depending on the cost, if the car costs less than $10,000 here in Nevada, you could actually file a breach of contract action in small claims court, which would allow you to get be able to get in front of a small claims judge, usually in less than 6 months, and have that worked out and and ask for your money back. If it's between $10,000 and $15,000, then you could file for that breach of contract action in justice court. And if it's more than $15,000, then district court, our state district court, and that's the courts here in Nevada. In California, for example, it would be limited jurisdiction superior court, general jurisdiction superior court. But it's the same idea. You just have to know how much you've paid, and that will fit into where you would go after that.
What about, I'm from here and I send the money to other state, next town, and the car did not deliver, and you already have my money?
Well, first of all, I would not advise you to do something like that.
What about if it didn't happen?
It sounds like this is personal, but okay. If you have bought a car and you sent the money out of state, then it really which state has jurisdiction depends on.
Let's say Arizona.
Oh, well, okay, but which state, whether here or Arizona, would have jurisdiction depends on where the contract was entered into. Whether if it was across state lines, then you have you may have what's called a conflict of jurisdiction issue, and that would take time and research in order to determine which state has the appropriate jurisdiction for a situation like that. It's not cut and dry.
Wow.
Okay, and it also depends where the delivery of the car was supposed to be. I mean, if you sent it, for example, if they were to bring the car, if they were supposed to bring the car in Las Vegas, you live in Las Vegas, you signed whatever contract you signed here, and then let's say scanned it and emailed it back there, then most likely Nevada would be the appropriate jurisdiction for that. If, on the other hand, you were planning, even if you live here and you sign the contract here, but let's say the plan was for you to drive or to travel to Arizona to then pick up the car, that is a much tougher situation. That's not cut and dry at all. Much of the law is an art. It's not just black and white.
See, we should do this all the time. We should have attorneys forum every Thursday so that we can actually educate people, and we should do this every week.
Well, at least maybe a couple times a month. The problem with every week is that I'm a trial attorney. I'm in trial, and when I'm in trial, I'm not able to cut away. I can't tell the judge and jury, "Excuse me, I got to leave for 2 hours because I have a radio show or a TV show to do." the judges here, and I'm a part-time judge, I can tell you, the judges here, they're not that understanding when it comes to,
By the way,
my
speaking
TV
of-
career.
I know.
So-
By the way, speaking of that,
Yes.
you're still planning to run.
Yes. The next,
Let's prepare that so that
Yes.
we can win. you
Yes,
know?
yes,
Let's
yes,
do that. Let's prepare that. We'll make
yeah.
a commercial for that.
okay, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
continuing to do my part-time judgeship
Mhm.
in small claims, justice court, and
Mhm.
district court,
Mhm.
and I'm planning on running again to become a full-time judge.
When is that again?
Well, there's two ways to become a judge in
Okay.
Nevada. One is through the general election, and the
Okay.
next general election for all the seats, whether they're open or the incumbent is running again, will be in January through November of 2020. Okay.
January. What about next year? No.
Well, next year we'll have some justice court seats open. But and if anybody is appointed, let's say someone leaves the district court, retires from their district court seat, then someone else gets appointed, and then there's that election is the next even year. So let's say if somebody left this today, all right, then the committee would then interview people. They'd send 3 names up to the governor. The governor would pick one of those names, and then that person would need to run in 2018, and then that department, whoever wins that election in 2018, would have to run again in 2020.
Oh.
So
We can do a lot of commercial.
yeah.
And then what we can do also, we can invite the community to be, get the free education from our
Right.
attorney, a dear friend of mine, and he can educate you guys how to avoid being, scam with other people and how to protect yourself. What else can you advise people?
Okay, well, the other thing that I wanted to get to in this segment is how to avoid being scammed by a flood damaged car, because there are hundreds of thousands of these cars that most likely will be back out into the stream of commerce soon. And there are things that you can look at, and some of these I've picked up from Consumer Reports, some from other colleagues and whatnot, and some from my expert mechanic. One of the things he told me that you can put a probe inside the door that can show water damage. Now, that's all I know about that probe. I don't have a lot of information. But if you have a mechanic, that's something that you may want to ask. Some of the other things that you can do when you're looking at a used car is to look for caked on mud or a musty odor from the carpets. New carpets in an older vehicle may be another red flag that they're trying to cover up flood damage. If there is a visible water line on the lens of the lights or reflector of the headlights, that may be another indication that this car was in standing water for quite a while. If you see that there is mud or debris trapped in difficult to clean places, because they're going to try to clean that car up, such as gaps between the panels, in the trunk and under the hood, that's where you would have to really get in there with a Q-tip to try to clean it.
Wow.
And just washing the car and putting in new carpets may not get up that kind of mud and debris, and that's something that you should look at very carefully. And of course, rust. If it's especially if the car supposedly has only been owned by people in the Southwest, where it's mostly desert, and there's an unusual amount of rust, that could be an indication that the car has problems. But even if they've gone as far as trying to clean up some of that rust or paint over that rust, here's another way. Look for rust-exposed screws under the dashboard. Also look for unpainted metal in flood cars that will show signs of rust. So if it's just the plain metal the sheet metal or unpainted screws. And lastly, look for rubber drain plugs under the car and on the bottom of the doors that have been removed. And that may have been done to drain floodwaters. So those are some things that hopefully you wrote down, and you'll be able to take with you next time you're looking for a used car.
Well, anyway, this is attorney Craig Bird, and also he's a pro judge, and we have a free education if you want to learn how to avoid or need help, and call us or private message me on our Facebook. Once again, this is Arielle Live TV with my co-host
Craig Friedberg.
Bye, see you next week.